All right, good morning, everybody. How is everyone today? Hold on one second. There we go. How is everybody this lovely Friday? Hello, DSP here. I am ready for a full day of streaming, and I hope you guys are too. Today should be a good day. We got some good stuff going on streams today. FYI, today is the 21st of May, 2021. And, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pumped for today's streams. First of all, the continuation of New York Replicant. Right now on the stream, we're finishing up the B-side run by grabbing as many of the weapons as we can, and then finishing it up, doing our second ending, and then moving into the C and D side runs, which essentially just means I have to go through the game again a third time, but this time making sure that we've grabbed every weapon in the game along the way. And there's two more endings, C and D, and then after that, in this particular version of the game, which is, you know, the Replicant version, there's actually a new E side ending after you've completed the D side. Apparently what happens is the game completely resets, and then you start back from the beginning when you're the younger Nier, which you don't replay in these other runs, and then the game changes apparently. So today we get some good new story and a new ending, and then we move towards, you know, turboing through the game to see the C and D side ending. So essentially I only need to beat the game one more time after today, because you can make a save game at the end of the game to see both C and D runs back to back, so that way you don't have to keep replaying the game over and over. Should be a good time. Should be a chill, fun, you know, we're going to see a lot of new story, but once we get back into redoing the game again, and I'm turboing through the story this next time, you know, it's going to be more about just getting through the gameplay and talking with you guys and chilling as we turbo through, rather than caring so much about what's going on in the game. So, should be good. And then, of course, tonight, my late night stream, Street Fighter, old school Street Fighter fun, later tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be a good time because I love playing old school Street Fighter. You guys usually pick some fighters for me to use. And hopefully, we got to hope for the best, because last week when I played it on Saturday night, the connections were not so good, especially for, like, I think it was the first half. It was pretty shitty. We eventually did get into a good room and got some good matches in, but it took a while. So I'm hoping for better connections and stuff this week. We'll see. Tomorrow, it's make or break time for Returnal. Like, I'm laying down the law with Returnal. If I beat the third biome tomorrow on stream, then great. But if I don't, I'm not playing that game anymore. Like, that game is too much of a waste of my time. Seriously, it is. It's just too much of a time investment, too much of a time sink to replay the entire first level, grabbing upgrades and things so that you can get to the third level and then get more upgrades so that you can fight the boss. It takes too fucking long. I want to play other games. I'm tired of fucking replaying stage 1 and stage 3 just to get to the boss and narrowly die at the end like I have 3 times now. So, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Alright? We'll see what happens. And then, tomorrow night, the late night stream, will be the return of Call of Duty. Yes, I have not played Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War in many weeks. I put it on hiatus when all these new releases started coming out. But now there's a new map that just released. Ouch! Jasper Kitty, how dare you? He bit my toe. There's a new map that released yesterday. No, you're not going to bite my foot. Hey! That's it. Nah, that's it, Buster. You want attention, you're going to get it. Oh, that's it. He wants to play. He's going crazy here. He's going crazy again. A crazy kitty wants attention. Anyway. Yeah, I haven't played Call of Duty in like a month, right? I was playing it consistently 2-3 times a week sometimes. For months there, I was doing really good. I was trying every weapon. I got good at melee weapons. I got good at sniping. I had dual pistols. Like, every possible thing. It was fun. Shotguns, right? Auto shotty unlocked. But I stopped playing it for 2 reasons. Number 1, because a lot of people were saying I was playing it too much. They were tired of it. And number 2, because new releases were coming out. And I wanted to give more time to the new releases. Okay, well, Call of Duty has a new map and a silly Rambo skin now, so I'm going to be checking that out tomorrow night. will be one random late night stream of Call of Duty. And by the way, I really want to see how Call of Duty looks with my new setup now. 1080p, 60 frames per second, running at a higher bitrate on YouTube, right? So hopefully, you guys will join me tomorrow night for some fun Call of Duty good stuff, right? All right. Then on Sunday, it's my final consecutive streaming day of the week, and that's going to be the continuation of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This time around, I don't know if we'll do another major story mission, or maybe we'll do a detour to do some side content, because I haven't done side content now in a couple streams. Okay. And Sunday night, the continuation of Danganronpa V3. We're in the midst of the third class trial, a double murder investigation, and it's been really cool the last couple of weeks. I'm excited for another session of that Sunday night. Okay, so that's the streaming week. All right, now when I come back on Tuesday, because Monday is my day off from streaming. Stop biting me, Jasper Kitty. Stop that right now. He wants more attention. When I come back on Tuesday, it'll be the premiere of Biomutant, a new game coming out. And it looks interesting, but I'm not exactly sure what the hell it is. But being that it seems like it's such a unique game, I'm going to check it out this week. All right, Biomutant, coming on Tuesday. And then, this week, it'll be a combination of Biomutant and the other continuing playthroughs this coming Thursday, which would be May 27th, okay? Stop that, Jasper. Stop biting me. It will be Ask the King returning. My bi-monthly Q&A show, finally coming back after over 2.5 months hiatus. It is returning on Thursday. It should definitely be an interesting show, because I'm sure people are going to have lots of stuff to ask me about YouTube streaming now and everything, and my future as a streamer, etc. So I'm excited for that. Now, please, if you would like to post up your questions for a chance that they will get answered on the show, all right, please, well, here it is, okay. You can go to my forums by typing !Ask the King into the stream chat. I actually just did this myself. It'll bring up the link you can click on and go to the forums and post up your questions. Okay? So I hope you will go do so. The more questions that I get for the show, the better the show is. So please post up questions if you have not yet. All right? So we're going to have Biomutant this week. It's going to be paired with the continuation of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, the final runs through Nier Automata. Maybe Returnal, maybe not, because it all depends on what happens tomorrow. Returnal maybe getting canceled, and I don't really give a crap, quite frankly. I just don't. The game right now is pissing me off. So we shall see what happens this coming week. All right, but a good balance of stuff to end the month strong. Okay. Ezzy Steve just said, this is my first attempt, or my first time attending a stream. I've always watched them on YouTube for more than a decade. Glad I can finally join these. Yeah, for those of you who enjoy watching my content on YouTube all along, at this point, you can just jump right into the streams that are live right on the channel. And by the way, unlike over on Twitch, the bandwidth here, apparently, the bandwidth usage is way lower. I've been told that here, watching streams on YouTube, a lot of people can do it easily, while on Twitch, it eats up so much bandwidth, a lot of the times they cannot watch at all. In addition, YouTube gives you way more viewing options. Like Twitch usually would only give you 1 or 2 viewing options, while here on YouTube, you get like 10. You get like 1080p, 60 frames, 1080p, 30 frames, 720p, 60 frames, 480, you know, all the way down to like 144, apparently. YouTube apparently runs just a lot better. Biggest Kobe fan says if you have below 5 megabytes per second, you can't really watch Twitch at all. So, and by the way, this is exactly what people told me years ago when I used to stream on YouTube too. The problem has always been the stream chat. The problem is not the quality of YouTube or the functionality of YouTube. It's the stream chat. That the stream chat is abysmally bad, and I agree. You know, we're doing our best here to try to make it so that the stream chat is tenable, and you know, what we're seeing this week, and I say we because all of us, we're all sitting here seeing it happen live in the stream, is we're seeing trolls coming in and trying different things and figuring out what works and what doesn't here. It's kind of frustrating, you know. Definitely some issues are clone accounts, where people come in with accounts that are trying to look like somebody else that they're not and impersonate them. And the fact that apparently you can make a brand new YouTube account and jump on the spam within like 5 minutes and just keep going. It's pretty annoying. But I guess we'll see moving forward. What I'm hoping is that the moderators and I can continuously, number one, figure out how to nip these things in the butt when they're happening. I think it's nip in the bud, by the way, not nip in the butt. I always say the wrong saying. And then number two, also, we can maybe change Nightbot around a little bit. Add new functionality to Nightbot to kind of stop the trolling, right? Okay. Oh, Yoshino Lover, awesome. Please email me, darksidephil@hotmail.com. He says he has new fan art for the pre-stream. Sounds good. I should bring this up. Ladies and gentlemen, now, for the foreseeable future, I am streaming on YouTube every day, okay? That being said, I would love if you guys would create some more pre-stream art to make up for the fact that a lot of my art says Twitch. I was on Twitch for 5 years, so it makes sense that it did. Well, actually, I have to say more like 4. Like right now, look, Darkside Phil Twitch stream live. I would love to get this, only it says Darkside Phil YouTube stream live. Or gaming stream live or something more generic, so that way I can use it. Okay? Please do. If you're good at making artwork or whatever, by all means, please toss some my way. I would love to use it. And thank you in advance to anyone who would do such a thing. Okay? Alrighty. Okay. So that's the schedule. One more thing. Please continue to vote on the Retro Replay upcoming event. For those who are not aware, Retro Replay is an event that's coming up where I'm going to replay a game that I played in the past. I'm going to do another full playthrough of it. It had to be a game that was from 2015 or earlier. And you guys nominated the following games. You ready? These are the games that are in the running. The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, Uncharted 2, God of War 3, Fallout New Vegas, Ninja Gaiden on the NES, Alan Wake, and Resident Evil 6. Okay? Now, there's still plenty of time to vote. I'm not closing this poll off until basically the middle of next week, probably. And then it's going to determine what the game will be, and then I'm going to schedule the time that I'm going to be doing the special marathon launch event, because whatever game wins the poll, I'm going to be playing in a marathon setting for around 7 or more hours of gameplay to get a great chunk into said game to start. Okay? So, good stuff. Please keep voting. All right? The votes could flip on their head at any moment. How do you vote? Type ! Retro Replay into the stream chat. That'll bring up the link. Go over and vote. By the way, you can vote on more than one game. Let's say you say, oh man, out of those, I'd really like to see Alan Wake, Resident Evil 6, and Uncharted. You could vote for all 3. Okay? The more votes, the better. Again, the more participation we get in these events, the better. So please go vote. All right? And then I will set up the event, which likely will either be at the very tail end of May or early June. Alrighty. Sound good? Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I've been streaming here on YouTube since Saturday of last week, so almost a week. It was Saturday night when I jumped over, because it was Saturday last week when Twitch erroneously suspended my account for a week for absolutely nothing, something I didn't do. Which then prompted me to say, screw this, I'm out of here, and come over here and stream on YouTube. Okay? Oh, by the way, shout out to Ezzy Steve, who just did a super chat. He said, I've never donated to anyone, but given how many years of entertainment you provided me, this is the least I could do. Wish you the best. Thank you very much, Ezzy Steve. I don't know if it's supposed to be Easy Steve or Ezzy Steve. Probably Easy Steve. Good stuff. Thank you for the support, sir. Alright, so anyway. What I was saying was, I've now roughly been streaming on YouTube just under a week. We are at 99%, excuse me, 99%. 99 members. That means 99 people have currently voted. Boy, I'm getting so confused, so I'm reading stream chat. All right, let's try this again. Darkness, no, you cannot vote once you've already voted. You have to vote all at once. So, for example, when you're first voting in that poll, you can say, oh, I vote for these 3 games. But once you've submitted one vote, you cannot go back and submit a second vote. That's correct. Okay. All right, now, what I was saying was, we have 99 members. 99 people have stepped up and have become paid members of the channel That means that they have access to emotes. That means they get cool chat crown badges. And that also means that they get highlighted in the stream chat. You know, their names are a different color. All right. Thank you to anyone who did that. That is much appreciated. The way it works over here on YouTube is the more people who become members, the more emotes we unlock for the channel. We currently have 13, but if we get one more member today, we should get 14. Oh, Regina West Knight has just become a super supporter. That is the tier 2 of support here for the channel. That should unlock a new emote for us. It should. That's awesome. Thank you, Regina, for the support. That's our first milestone. 100 members. Rob on Wheels to me, $10 says, Pokemon Snap continuing. I was enjoying following it. Yeah, I just played it the other night, Rob. I played it 2 nights ago. Yeah, it wasn't last night. It was the night before. I did a 2-hour stream of it, and every once a week I've been playing it. You know, it's a very relaxing, chill game, Rob. It's not something that needs tons of attention. It's certainly not a mainstream playthrough or anything where there's a big narrative, so that's why I'm playing it like once a week as a chill stream. I'll continue to do so. So no worries. If you missed out on it, the part should be live on YouTube. On DSPGaming, I wonder if I forgot to add them to the playlist. I'm going to double check on that right now. I've got a bad habit this past week of forgetting to add shit to the playlist. Someone actually told me the Resident Evil Village playlist was missing like 3 parts. Right in the middle, too. It was like, it went to part 11, and then it just like conked out. and then it came back at like part 16 or something. I was like, oh man, I really screwed that up, huh? No, I added it to the playlist. All right, so it should be set, yeah. I just played new Pokemon Snap on the other night, and I will continue to play it as an ongoing playthrough, Rob. No problem. But it'll be about once a week. Yes, Yoshino Lover, please email me as well. He just posted up his art in the forums. Yeah, email me as well. Okay? Okay. Anyway, getting back to the subject. So, ladies and gentlemen, 100 members as of this morning. It is official. That's our first 100 members to the channel. Thank you to all of you who have jumped on the support so far, okay? The more members we get, which undoubtedly we will get more members over time, new releases will bring in new members and the like, and people will jump on. I think what's happening is people are realizing having all my content in one place is kind of handy. Some people have said, oh wow, it's all just right here, this is neat, and they went and subbed to my YouTube channel for the first time ever. I got over 500 new subscribers on YouTube today, and I was like, holy crap, I can't. This is the first time in a long time that I have seen significant growth on DSPGaming, because I have not focused on my YouTube channel since 2016, 2017 was really the last time. So I basically kind of not want to say abused it, or I just kind of ignored it. YouTube was always all right. I focus on my live streams. I make my live streams great. And then I jump over to YouTube after the fact, and I upload the videos as an archive, and that's all I really cared about, right? But now, since everything is going to be centralized in only one place, you know, it's looking like it actually is going to be significant growth on the channel for the first time in quite a long time, which obviously is a great thing, right? So yeah, this is cool. I might actually see, and I never thought this would happen. I'm going to be very honest with everyone here. I never thought DSPGaming would exceed, well, or would hit 200,000 subs. I thought because of the stagnation of the channel, because I decided to basically make the channel an archive and not focus on growth or anything, I thought the channel would die or slowly die as an archive channel while I focused on streams. But now that I'm actually putting streams on the channel, there's a reason to subscribe to the channel, because the channel will tell you when there's streams live now if you subscribe. There's reason to become a member of the channel because you get all these cool benefits during my live streams. So we may actually see growth on DSPGaming for the first time in like 6 years. That's pretty crazy. I guess we'll find out. But I hope, what I would hope is that we will hit 200,000 subs on this channel. That's something that I've always thought would have been cool. But I have stayed between like 180 to 190,000 subs for like 6-7 years, and it never grew. It just sat there as an archive because I was a live streamer. So, there's finally a reason to sub to DSPGaming. That's so funny. Biggest Kobe fans is also there's no 15 videos a day anymore. I mean, true, there's one pre-stream video, and then for the earlier stream, there's usually 3 videos, and then for the late stream, there's usually 2 videos. So on an average day, I'm posting up about 6 videos a day. So it would not go crazy, right? It would not completely spam everyone's inboxes with videos like it used to. You're right. I used to put up anywhere from 15 to 30-minute videos. So you'd be doubling up. You'd have like 12 to 15 videos popping up in your inbox every day. Okay? So, I hope to hit 200,000 subs. That would be nice. That would certainly be a nice milestone to say, hey, guess what? After, over 11 years of this channel existing, I'm actually kind of focusing on the channel again, and look, our subs went up. Right? That would be nice. But I don't know if that's realistically going to happen. Okay? We'll find out, I guess, right? But hey, if you haven't, now's a good opportunity. Sub to the channel, right? Get in on it. Hey, if you want those perks of having a chat crown badge, using emotes, having a highlighted name, and not being affected by, I believe it's slow mode, then become a paid member, right? Support the channel. Become a paid member of the channel. Now, keep in mind, there's also super chats and super stickers. These are messages you can use during the live streams that basically, support the stream, and they get highlighted, and I give shout outs for those as well, as long as they're not nasty messages. But in particular, the best way that you can support the channel is by tipping me. I do still need major tip support for the next month, essentially. Because, by the way, right now, today, I actually got paid by YouTube for last month's performance, which was based only on ad revenue. Last month, I wasn't streaming on YouTube, so I wasn't getting membership income. I wasn't getting any super chat or anything like that, all right? So as of today, I got paid for last month's ad revenue, and that money goes right to my monthly federal income tax payment, and it pays for things like my health insurance and stuff like that. That's what that payment always goes to. So essentially, what I need to do now is between now and 1 month from today, all of my income is essentially going to be your tips. Your tips will pay for everything. You will pay, those tips will pay for my, hold on, I'm having a brain fart here. Give me a second here. Stupid brain. Why are you being so stupid, brain? Okay, excuse me. Those tips will pay for my dues, both for my shitty-ass foreclosed-on condo in Connecticut, as well as this place that I live in right now. It'll pay for my car payment coming up. It'll pay for the internet bill and all utility bills coming up, as my car insurance, all those things, common things. Plus, every week, going grocery shopping, buying pet supplies for Jasper Kitty. All those things are paid for by tips. Matter of factly, that's the income. That's the only income I'm going to have between now and 1 month from today will be your tips. So if you want to support the stream, please tip me, okay? Thank you to those who do tip me. I appreciate that very, very much. Thanks in advance for any contribution during today's stream. The tips are what are helping the most, which is why we have rewards in effect. We raised $50 in tips I put on my Gunner glasses, $100 I put on a vest, and yesterday it was the platinum vest, and then last night I wore the gray vest. So today, it probably between like denim, blue, camo, and probably red. Those would be probably the 4 vests that we'll consider for today. Okay? So, please support the stream in any way that you'd like. You can become a member, which will earn us more emotes. You can super chat, you can use the super sticker, or you can tip me. But for the next month, starting today, I really need help with the tips. That'll get me through until basically I get paid for all of the income that you guys have been supporting me with here in the last few days to week. Those memberships and the super chats and everything, those are going to help tremendously next month. Because now, basically, my income is going to be tips and YouTube income, and that's it. No more Twitch. Twitch is done. Twitch is over with. Twitch is old news. All right. All right, guys. How do you tip? Well, actually, I'm not sure if this worked or not, because I tried to do this before, and I accidentally, of all things, earlier on the stream, I went to I went to go ahead and pin a message about tipping to the chat, and when I did that, I accidentally timed out Nightbot. Which I didn't even know you could do, but apparently you can time out the bot. Now, the thing is, on YouTube, it's very different than on Twitch. On Twitch, if you actually time someone out, they actually get kicked out of the chat room, and that's not like how it is here. Here, all that happens is their messages get hidden for 10 minutes. So it was funny because I accidentally timed out Nightbot, yet Nightbot continued to moderate the chat, no problem. People were, you know, still getting moderated behind the scenes, even though Nightbot wasn't able to type a message. Nightbot was able to basically shadow moderate from behind the scenes. I was like, well, that's crazy. I didn't even know that because, again, it's very different here. So, anyway. There's 3 ways you can tip me. You can look at this new pinned message in the chat right now, which has the link. You can type !tip into the stream chat. That has the link. Or you can look in the description of this stream, and there should be a link there to do it as well. All right? Fair enough? Now, next month, the month of June, will be an interesting month because not only will there be tons of new releases, and I'll be full-time streaming on YouTube the whole month, but we're going to have goals set, all right, for stream performance here on YouTube. Remember, we used to do a subscriber goal on Twitch? I'm going to do a members goal here on YouTube, where we try to raise a certain amount of members, right? And if we do hit a member milestone in June, I'll do a special event. What will the special event be? I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to brainstorm ideas. A lot of people have said maybe the return of the Rageathon, because I haven't done one in a very long time. Excuse me. Others have said maybe the return of the retrospective event or something, or maybe an Indies marathon, because I couldn't even tell you the last time that I did an Indies marathon, right? So anyway, I'm thinking about what I can implement for next month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say this. Thank you to those of you who supported me on Patreon this month. That was very much needed extra support because I did not get my usual support from Twitch, you know. It sucked what happened this month. You losing the partnership and everything. We talked this month about Patreon, about how to adopt Patreon, how to use Patreon. But in light of the fact that everything seems to be working all right here on YouTube, I think that what we should do is do what we were doing all along, focus on the streams. If we have a focus on Patreon, that's going to pull people away from the streams, right? That's a kind of a separate entity, all right? So, what I think we should do long term is essentially shift from Twitch to YouTube. All the things we used to do on Twitch, like the monthly sub goals, will now be monthly member goals, stuff like that, okay? As for Patreon, it's there. You guys can contribute to it if you would like. I want to say thanks to those who did jump on my Patreon this last month to support me very much. I appreciate that very much. But I think that our goals are going to be based off of stream performances again, not off of Patreon. All right? A lot of people were very resistant to use Patreon, which I don't know. I still don't understand why. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to pledge to someone's Patreon. I just don't get that. I never did. Because it's definitely a direct way to help someone. And by the way, those of you who did qualify for perks, you should have gotten them all by now. Okay? You should have. As of now, I responded to every single person who sent me information and wanted a perk. So, for example, there was 2 or 3 people who wanted forum upgrades so they could post up their questions for Ask the King coming up this week. That should be done as of now. If it's not, please let me know. Please email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com. Let me know if you're still owed a patron perk. Because from my perspective, everything was done. And I want to make sure that nothing accidentally slipped through the cracks or anything like that. Okay? It's fair enough. So, that's the deal. Like, some people were asking all month, gee, what are you going to do with your Patreon? Is there going to be Patreon-based goals now? Are you going to renovate the Patreon tiers and everything? So the answer was yes, because I was intending to stay on Twitch. And what I was hoping was that I was going to get people to convert from the old support on Twitch, such as the paid membership or the paid subs, and go to Patreon. But in light of what happened on Twitch this past week, which I still can't effing believe that they suspended me for something I didn't do on a stream, then undid it. I mean, what a bad system. So, in light of that happening, and me moving over to YouTube, I don't think that we should try to focus on Patreon like that. I think we should focus on the YouTube stuff, right? Focus on the memberships, focus on, you know, all the positive stuff we're doing on streams here as a goal, and then Patreon will be there in the background. If you guys want to support me via Patreon, it will still be there. And again, I do appreciate those who did pledge this month. I know that many of you likely was a one-time thing and probably are not going to re-pledge like that again. And I understand that. And again, I get that. A lot of people stepped up and just wanted to help one time. That's cool. If any of you who pledged to my Patreon last month want to stay on to support me, by all means, thank you in advance. I would be surprised if a few people are like, oh, I want to keep on with the support. I like doing it. That's awesome. Thank you. All right. But I would suspect what's going to happen. We're going to see a decline in people on Patreon, and then people are going to come over here and start supporting via the streams directly, you know. 2Block2 says, what do you think? Would Patreon or Super Chat help more? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how the Super Chat thing works. I know I don't get all of it. I think YouTube takes a cut. I think Patreon takes way less of a cut than anyone. Like, seriously, out of all the ways to support me, outside of tipping is the direct way. But out of everything else, I think Patreon takes the least. I could be wrong, though. I'm not someone who just sits there and calculating all this stuff. You know what I mean? There you go. Someone just said YouTube takes 30% of the Super Chats. See, I didn't know that. Okay, anyway. Enough about that. But the point I'm trying to make is, there are many ways to support me. I just don't want any misconceptions about Patreon, because yes, we did have a focus on Patreon, and I was asking people to support me via Patreon for about 2-3 weeks there while I was still on Twitch and not in the partner program. But now that I'm streaming on YouTube and there's these alternate ways like memberships to support me, I would much rather have people come and support via that method than worry about going and pledging on Patreon, because Patreon is not going to have monthly goals based on it anymore. It's going to be goals based here on YouTube. Okay, like I said, probably for the month of June we'll have a membership goal. Okay, fair enough. All right, guys. So moving on. Thank you so much, everyone, in advance for any support today. I really appreciate it. News-wise, right now, it's kind of a funny time because we're getting all this information that E3 is in just a couple weeks, right? I think E3 is going to be the second week of June. I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's the second week of June. So that week, we're going to have tons of digital conferences and things going on. There's supposed to be a joint Microsoft-Bethesda conference for the first time, which makes sense because Microsoft bought Bethesda. You know, all this stuff going on, coming up in the next couple of weeks. The Summer Games Fest is also going to be coming out, which is kind of the competition of E3, where that's the one run by Jeff Keighley, and it's going to be a bunch of companies putting out these world premiere trailers and everything. It should be cool. I'm excited for all this because this is one of the best times of the year for games. You get to find out all the new games coming out the rest of the year. A lot of games get release dates. Sometimes you even get some games surprise drop releases, right? Good stuff. If E3 is going to be like it always has been, meaning there will be a major press conference for Sony, a major press conference for Microsoft Bethesda, maybe a major one for Ubisoft, a major one for EA. If they do it like that, then I am going to be covering it like I always do, meaning we will be watching those press conferences together live, and I will be chatting with you guys in a chat. What I'll do is I'll create a stream ahead of time so we can chat about that in the chat room. While it happens, I'll take notes, and then immediately I'll go live here on a stream to give you my recap and reactions on that conference that just happened. And I'll likely do a video for each one, you know, one for Sony, one for Microsoft Bethesda, one for Ubisoft, one for EA, and if there's anything else major, maybe Square Enix or something like that, right? So I'm going to do it like usual. If their Summer Games Fest is going to have a special big show where essentially it just kind of premieres a bunch of stuff back to back, then I would consider covering that in the same way. So there will be some upcoming coverage. I think I need to confirm the dates and times of everything, of when these shows are going to go down, and then we could do all that stuff together. Okay? However, I will not be attending the virtual conference room floor app event. I know I've been making fun of this for the past week. Basically, E3 is going to have an app that you download on your phone for free. And it's going to be a virtual E3 floor where you walk around virtual booths just to access the same content that will already be live on the internet. Great. Sounds very exciting. Anyway, so yes, that's coming up. But the funny thing is, because E3 and Summer Games Fest are right around the corner, there's like nothing going on in the realm of games news. Like, it is like drier than dry. Like, here's the latest games news that came out in the last few days. There's going to be the redo of Skyward Sword, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, coming out in July. Remember? It's already been announced. It's coming out on the Switch in July. I'm excited for that. I liked Skyward Sword, except I hated the motion controls. And this version doesn't force you to use shitty Wii motion controls. So the game will probably be much better than the original. Alright? But everyone is ranting and raving and angry at Nintendo. Because Nintendo has done something unsavory. Oh my god, not that Nintendo ever does anything like that, right? They're always the 100% very consumer-friendly group. But anyway, what's happened is they added a change to the game, okay? They added the ability to fast travel from any point in the game to the sky. So if you're in a town, if you're inside of a dungeon, wherever you may be, you can immediately jump to the sky onto your bird. Fast travel. But they hid it behind the purchase of an amiibo. Yes, you actually have to buy a special Zelda Skyward Sword amiibo and scan the amiibo. And when you do that, it'll fast travel you to the sky. Without that amiibo, you can't do it. So the feature's in the game, pre-programmed in, but you have to pay extra money to buy a shitty amiibo to fucking use the feature that's in the game. And people are freaking out. Freaking out. They're like, this is bullshit. We've wanted this quality of life feature for Skyward Sword since the game launched. You add it in, but now you hide it behind a microtransaction. And now people are basically comparing this to Street Fighter Cross Tekken. For those who don't remember, nearly a decade ago at this point, Capcom released a fighting game called Street Fighter Cross Tekken that featured both Capcom Street Fighter fighting characters and other Capcom characters like Mega Man, but then it added in Tekken characters, alright? So it was a crossover fighting game. The problem was, when they released it, there were like 4 to 6 DLC characters you had to pay extra money to use, but they were already in the game. They were finished characters completely in the game. You didn't need to download any digital content to play them. They were already fully functional. Capcom hid them behind a paywall. And people rightly flipped the hell out on them and said, what are you, out of your mind? That's bullshit. You have put, the content is in the game. We bought the game. Give me the content on the goddamn game disc. And Capcom's like, nope, pay us more money. The game flopped horribly. And it actually became one of the biggest money losers for Capcom, which led to almost the first real failure for Ono as a director, and I would say was the first failure on him that led to his downfall with the company. Okay, so here we are 10 years later. Nintendo says, oh, you know, Capcom really was so successful with that 10 years ago. Let's jump right on that bandwagon and do the same thing. Let's force an extra transaction, buying a collectible figure to unlock a feature that's already in the game that everyone wants. Right? So, I don't know what's going to happen. There's a big uproar on the internet about this. Okay? Also, in regards to Biomutant, which I've already stated I'm interested in, and I'll be playing this coming week, Biomutant will run at 4K resolution and 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series X, but will only run at 1080p 60 frames on the PS5, but we'll have an upscaled 4K on the PlayStation 5. I'm not kidding you. People on the internet are up in arms about this fighting. Some people are saying, wow, look, the PlayStation 5 sucks ass because Biomutant can run at a native 4K. What I have to say is this. Are you guys aware that Biomutant is not a current gen game? Biomutant is Xbox One and PS4. Did you know that? It's not, there's no PS5 version, there's no Xbox Series X or S version of Biomutant. So you're essentially playing a last-gen game on a next-gen console. So why would you expect that it would have, like, native 4K? And the game devs even said, you know, they're just basically doing what's easy. I guess for them it was easy to get it to work on the Xbox Series S, but they couldn't really get it to work easily on the PS5, so you have to upscale instead. The game wasn't designed for 4K. So even if you're getting 4K on the Xbox Series S, it's not going to look amazing because the game wasn't designed for it. It's designed for 1080p. That's the ideal experience. So there you go. What's the other news story? There's 3 big news stories right now, and the reason that I'm pointing this out, all right, the reason I'm pointing this out is these are the news stories. These really aren't very important news stories. If you're not noticing, like, this is what everyone's up in arms about on the internet right now, because there's nothing to talk about. All the games news is being withheld for E3 and or Summer Games Fest. So because there's nothing to talk about, this is like people are like really grasping at straws to find stuff to talk about and be up in arms about with video games. So, hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, with E3 coming up and everything, we will have much more to talk about. The way I see it, I get the feeling we're going to get so much information about all the games we want to hear about. The new God of War, the new Horizon, right? Maybe we'll hear about Elden Ring, finally. That would be nice. More information about upcoming franchises we're expecting to get information out of. Probably Assassin's Creed, probably Call of Duty. You know, all the things that you're expecting from the normal. But hopefully also, we will be getting a ridiculous amount of information about new games and new IPs. Because this would be the time, whenever there's a new console generation that launches, usually the first 6 to 8 months are slow. And then usually it's that E3 right after that when you get, boom, here comes a ton of new IPs, a ton of new games, a ton of new franchises that are going to be hitting these consoles in the next few years. And that's when you can really get excited for the future of that console. So I'm hoping that it follows suit this year. I hope. I hope we do not get a disappointing year where it's slow again because of COVID. It's like, Jesus, fucking COVID fucked everything up. Everyone's life was irrevocably fucked up in the last year because of COVID. It's like we're hoping things are going to start to get back to normal now, right? So. All right. It's time to get to shout-outs, everyone. I want to say thank you to that person who became a channel member. We're now at 100 memberships. I believe the next milestone is... Actually, you know what? Instead of saying I believe, I'll look it up right now. I can actually confirm with you what the next milestone is and when we can unlock a new emote. Hold on a second here. Let's find out. Here it is. It's edit. So it says 25 more. So when we hit 125 memberships, we will unlock a new emote slot. And by the way, since a new emote slot unlocked on this very pre-stream, later today, I will go through the emotes and I will add one. Unless, so here's the situation. I can either add an individual emote, or if you guys want the 2-parter dab emote to be added next, right? Then what I will do is I will wait and I will add 2 at once when we hit 125 members. So what would you guys prefer? Would you prefer if I add a one-off emote to the stream? Or would you like me to wait till we hit 125 and then add the 2-parter dab? $672 says, don't add that emote. It's dumb. He wants a one-off emote only, he says. Okay. Peyton Estrada wants the dab emote. Darkness, I don't know the answer to that. He says, how many emotes can you use till Nightbot considers it spam? I'm not sure. I think Nightbot is using default settings because when I set this up to work on YouTube, I rushed it to get it on here. We could change that and I can edit it. If it seems like Nightbot is being too strict, I could try to fix that. Shout out to Super Blind Man. What's up, sir? I would like to personally congratulate Super Blind Man. Yesterday, Super Blind Man was part of the global Accessibility Awareness Day event that took place on Twitch TV. He had a record-breaking over 23,000 viewers on his stream at once. And I hope that gave him a lot of attention and exposure because he deserves it. He is a very unique person who, if you guys aren't aware, he's blind. And he plays video games that are accessible to the blind and also tests games for accessibility to the blind. And it's some of the most unique content of gaming you can probably find on the internet. You'll be blown away watching him play certain games, especially games where they have fun accessibility features that make them make those games viable to play, like Last of Us 2, which he's done so many crazy runs of. And I'm super happy for him that he got this extra exposure, and I'm hoping that that exposure continues. I hope that some of those people will actually go back to check out his content. So if you don't, I gotta tell you, you should definitely check out Super Blind Man when you guys get a chance over on Twitch. And congratulations to him for that very, very successful stream yesterday. Hopefully that opened the eyes of people to what accessibility can be for gaming when they saw him playing Last of Us 2 yesterday. Because I didn't really understand it until I saw him playing it, and my jaw fucking dropped and hit the floor. I was like, they put sonar in the game. That's fucking ingenious. That makes absolutely perfect sense. And it works. So many games should be implementing this. They really should. So anyway, congratulations to him. Good to see you here today, sir. All right, I think it's time for us to start with shout-outs. Our first tip of the day came in from Rob on Wheels, who tipped me $10 and said, "Is Pokemon Snap continuing? I was enjoying following it." As I answered a half an hour ago, yes, Pokemon Snap is continuing as a once-a-week playthrough. I'm playing it once a week as a late-night stream. Not often, obviously, but it's chill. It's a chill game. You know, it's not a game that's riveting. It's not a game that is going to knock your socks off. It's a game that essentially is meant to relax when you're taking pictures of Pokemon, right? And that's why it works for my streams, because I look for chill games. Oops. I look for chill games. And that's exciting to know that there's one there with big variety with Pokemon. So I enjoy it once a week. And yes, it will continue. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Disgusting. Thorax the Impula 2077, who very generously came to my stream last night and contributed during Divinity, has done another $100 tip. Thorax, thank you so much for all the support, man. So he says, "I just came in to stop by. I can't really stay long. I'm working at a winery right now, but here's a tip for you." So Thorax, thank you so much, man. Very generous tip. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Biggest tip of the day, of course. Of course, that means we'll be starting not only with Gunner glasses, but also a vest today. So we have to figure out what vest I should wear today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. There we go. Shout out to an anonymous tipper who tipped me $1.30 and says, "I'm the only person talking about the Zelda thing and the Biomutant thing." Well, then obviously you don't use social media, because it's all over social media. These are the trending topics in gaming right now. Over the last 24 hours, it was the Skyward Sword Amiibo thing and the Biomutant thing. And that's it. It's funny because then other people who usually are people who are involved in big topics of gaming on social media are like, "Man, it's slow. This is what we're talking about right now. This is stupid. Why are these big stories? They shouldn't be." Where's Only Iced Coffee? He was here yesterday. Only Iced Coffee was here yesterday. Not for too long, but he was here for probably about a half an hour yesterday. He's probably been busy recently, I would assume, with work. So Jasper Kitty is now holding my foot. He laid down at my feet. He put his arm over my foot. It's so cute. You're such a cute kitty. He's a love bug. He loves attention. So I will be like sitting on the couch with my arm just like resting next to me. He'll come right up, lay next to me, and he'll snuggle my arm. Or my wife and I will be laying on the bed, relaxing. And he'll come between us, lay down, and stick his leg over our legs. He's hilarious. He's so cute. You're such a cute kitty. He loves it. I'm giving him rubs. He absolutely loves it. Oh my goodness, buddy. We got the right cat, that's for sure. We really did. He's a little bit. Listen, Jasper Kitty is a troublemaker, but he's a troublemaker who does. He's not destructive. You know, there are cats out there who they absolutely insist on chewing everything, pissing everywhere, wrecking stuff. He's not like that. The trouble that he causes is silly trouble, silly fun that's cute. So, you know, yeah, every once in a while he nips me, but it's because he's playing. I'm not going to get angry, you know. I just don't want him to get hurt when he chews wires and stuff, but the stuff he does is so cute. It's so funny. Okay, anyway. Rob tipped me another $4.20, and he says, tell me that we're going to be covering Hogwarts come autumn. Well, if Hogwarts does come out in autumn, because we don't know yet, it doesn't have a release date, I'll be interested in it. I mean, I've never played a Harry Potter game. I've seen all the movies. I've never read a book, but I've seen all the movies, and I think it would be pretty interesting to see, you know, how it pans out as a game. So, yes, I am interested in this Hogwarts game if and when it ever comes out. We just don't know yet. You know, hopefully either E3 or Summer Games Fest we'll get more info on that. Brian Griffane is an asshole. He says one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. It's one of the most disrespectful, stupid things I've actually ever heard. So I'm just going to say go fuck yourself for even saying something messed up like that. Incredibly disrespectful. And by the way, it's not even disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to someone else, and I'm not even going to read that because it's so fucked up. So go fuck yourself. Okay. Okay, guys. So, does anyone else have anything else that they would like to talk about before I go on my break? Is Jasper neutered? Yes, he is. When we rescued Jasper at the shelter, he had been neutered. Now, apparently, he had already previously been neutered by his previous owners. We don't know where he comes from. We don't have the history data of who owned him previously to us, because he was at this shelter for about basically 2 to 3 months, and because he had been front declawed by his previous owners, no one wanted to adopt him. Everyone wanted a cat that had claws so that they could be basically kind of indoor-outdoor cats. Jasper can never be an outdoor cat because he doesn't have claws. So he has to be indoors 100% of the time. And he was sitting at this shelter for like 3 months, but we never got any information about him. We requested it, and they said they couldn't find any. But they knew that he was neutered, they knew that he had been vaccinated, and they knew he didn't have any illnesses, which was nice. So, okay. An anonymous $1.30 tipper says, your older videos are now starting to come up in my YouTube feed. Actually, I'll talk about that in a moment, because it's funny. That will happen. I saw one where you opened up items that fans sent you in the mail in 2011. Do you remember and or still have any of those items? Chances are, if it's something that was like a piece of clothing or something like that, I probably do. If it was something that was food and stuff, of course not. People used to actually send me snacks and stuff back in the day. That was back when I had a P.O. box that I could check, and people would send me stuff all the time. But that was quite a long time ago, and I don't have anything like that anymore. Now, in particular, why would that video show up in your feed? Because you're starting to watch my streams. The way YouTube works is as follows. If you watch any content from a YouTube channel at all, YouTube assumes you're now in love with that content creator. I'm not even kidding you. If you watch one singular video from someone, YouTube will randomly start showing you videos from that person in your feed for months. I can tell you exactly what I mean. I had never watched a single video from The Quartering at all until he interviewed me 2 years ago. Then when he interviewed me, I watched his video of the interview with me to see how it went, and I thought it went really well. The YouTube proceeded to give me his videos in my related feed for about 7 months. And I'm not just talking about, his latest video. His old-ass videos also. Like, everything from his channel, somehow YouTube thinks now I want to see every piece of content from The Quartering. So every single fucking video posts up in your related. It's the dumbest thing. It really is. That's how the whole algorithm works on YouTube. So if you're someone who now is coming to my channel to watch my live streams, you're going to get all of my videos in your related content constantly. You're going to get playthroughs, you're going to get vlogs, you're going to get like every possible kind of video in your feed, in your face. And there's nothing you could do about it unless I believe what you do is I think you can go and you can like you can either remove a video from your viewer history somehow, or you can mark videos as, oh, I'm not interested in that content. And if you do it like 100 times, and I mean that, like you have to do it like a ton of times, then finally YouTube will stop showing. Because by the way, now I don't get the quartering in my feed anymore. Now it's just videos related to me, because what's the most watched video that I have on YouTube? It's my pre-stream stuff, but the music. Because I played that pre-stream music, that counts as views towards that content. So YouTube thinks all I want to do is watch pre-stream songs. So I get all that in my related stuff now. So anyway, yes, for those of you who are starting to watch my streams here on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of my content in your related. It's 11 years of content. This channel was created in April of 2010. So that's 11 years of footage that's going to be popping into your related feed. You know, it's up to you at your discretion what you want to do. If you want to try to reduce that or not, right? Okay. Happy Bird says, any chance we'll be playing Final Fantasy games in the future? Have I ever played Final Fantasy V? I've played every major Final Fantasy game there is in the numbered universe. I just didn't beat them all. The ones that I never beat was Final Fantasy 12. Well, 11 you can't beat. It's an MMO. I never beat Final Fantasy 12. I only played it for maybe like 15 hours. I got bored and never played it again. That was many years ago. Outside of that, I've played them all except, 3. I never beat Final Fantasy 3. I thought the game was really boring. And that's funny because I like all the classic Final Fantasies, and I thought 3 was incredibly boring. 5 is one that I've never done a playthrough for the internet. However, I have played it multiple times myself. And I think that it's a good game, but I feel that it's better gameplay than story. The story's kind of meh, but the actual gameplay is good because that one has a class-based system where each character can basically be customized to be whatever class you want. And it's really fun to grind and try to unlock all the different classes for all the characters and kind of make them these cool hybrids. So, would I ever play Final Fantasy V? I would. What I would hope is that eventually they'll remake it. They never did. They remade Final Fantasy IV. They remade Final Fantasy VI for various outings. They never redid Final Fantasy V. So that's why you've never really seen me play the game. There's no modern version of the game that I could play on a modern console. You know? But I would definitely consider checking it out. Okay. What's for dinner today? I believe today we're going to have turkey hot dogs and baked beans. Very exciting. Stuart, no, I've not had any drift issues with my PS5 controller yet. Knock on wood. Yes, they remade Final Fantasy VI multiple times for multiple different ports. Like there is a port that's a PC port. There's a port that's a Game Boy Advance version. There was a Nintendo 3DS version, and then they ported those to say console, so you could play those versions on console. So there's many different versions of these games. Earthbound, I did a full playthrough of. Deathbolts is what I try. Earthbound, full playthrough. Back in the day, I think that was like 2013. I played it. It could be 2012, 2013. So, 8 years ago, a long time ago. But I did a full playthrough of it. Would I ever play it again? Yes. Two Blocks says no veggies. Dude, condiments. Pile on the mustard, pile on the ketchup, and pile on the relish. That's right. Those are your veggies when you eat hot dogs. No, I'm not having actual... Who eats hot... Wait a minute. Who eats hot dogs with veggies? Yes, I'm going to have a nice turkey dog with a side of broccoli and cauliflower. Who does that? Of course not. It's ridiculous. The Great White Dope says play Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation 1 or the Game Boy Advance one. Yeah, I like Final Fantasy Tactics. In fact, last year when I played Fire Emblem, I said, man, the only game I've really played that combats similar to this is Final Fantasy Tactics. I played both of those. There's regular Tactics, and I think there was, I forget what the other one was called, Tactics Advance or something. I played both. They're both really good. Still, DeCubo feels that Final Fantasy 13 needs a replay. I would not be opposed to that, considering that I only played it once when it was a brand new release, and that playthrough is now completely wiped off the face of the internet because someone hacked that YouTube channel and put up illegal soccer games on it, which then got it banned. So I would not be opposed to doing that. Okay. No, I've not thought about doing HelloFresh or Brew Ape, and too expensive. Too expensive to get those fresh ingredients coming to your house and everything. We just go right to the local grocery store and buy what we need. Alright, guys. I think it is time we can end. Oh, hold on. I just received a super chat. He says, what do you think of... John says, what do you think of Condemned Criminal Origins? Did I play it? I think that was the one that I played during a Halloween marathon several years ago. I thought it was alright. I wasn't in love with it. For what I played, I thought it was alright, but no one really ever asked me to continue it, so I never did. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is time to take a quick break. I'm going to use the restroom. You guys, grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourselves, whatever you'd like to do. When I return, it will be the continuation of Near Side B, which is, there's not much left. All we got to do is we got to grab a couple more weapons. We got to trade in a couple missions. I think there's one more side mission we need to finish. And then we finish the game and see the side B ending. That's going to reboot us to do the C and D. So we're going to be turboing through that story because there's not much difference. Just trying to go right through and beat everything quickly if we can. So it's going to be a fun stream. A lot more chill, though, once we get through the side B ending and head into a third run. We're just kind of like rushing through. So it'll be a good one. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who's contributed so far. When I come back, we will pick a vest for me to wear. But in the meantime, I recommend you grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourself, whatever you need. I'll be back shortly with the Nier Replicant. All right, see you in a bit. Very nice.